Welcome to It Is What It Is, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Shamri. How is everybody doing? I'm going to sound a little weird, but I wanted to put out an episode this week, and I sound like trash. So, bear with me. And I don't have the COVID, or the COVID, whatever. I call it the COVID. I give it cute little nicknames, but I don't got that. Idaho is being bombarded by smoke. And so ever since I stopped smoking cigarettes, my lungs have turned into little vaginas. And so now I get coughs and all sorts of fun crap when there's any type of smoke or anything in the air. Any hooser. So, yeah, that's why I didn't do an episode last week. Very, very sick. And I sounded gross, and I couldn't stop coughing. And we all know how much everybody hates coughing in the ear. So, I just didn't do one. I just died a little inside. So, I figured, why not? And then I was going to do the episode I wanted to do. And then I was like, you know what? Shits and giggles. Let's check the podcast email and we'll see if anybody has a request. And then I did. And my girl Sarah, who has asked for episodes before, asked for another one. And when I get emails like this, I know it's something that they really want me to do, because it seems like they stop whatever they're doing, like the show that they're watching, and then they're like, oh, I want to know what she thinks, and then they email me and then resume the show. And so I always feel like super loved, and I'm like, okay, I'll do yours instead of mine. And then I'm like, mine's garbage, and I threw it aside. And her email was like, hey, have you ever watched Abducted in Plain Sight? And I was like, I haven't. And there's one reason why I haven't, is when that show came out on it's a Netflix show. And I did try. I guess I shouldn't say I didn't watch it. I tried when it first came out, and I couldn't do it. And so I thought about it, and I said, either Sarah has switched teams and she wants me to get canceled, or she really wants to know what I think about all that crazy jazz. And so I'm not going to talk about the show as in using those people's legit names, except for Bob B, the bad guy. Everybody else, I'm just going to use mom, daughter, whatever. I figure if we take the names out of it, it'll maybe not hurt as many people's feelings as it will, because I know it will. But okay, so I started watching it. And if you don't know what it's about, it is a true crime show on Netflix. It's called Abducted in Plain Sight. And the family from that show is from Pocatello, Idaho. I say Pocatello. I do know some people who call it Pocatella. So, once again, don't come at me. There's many ways to say names. Anywho, so they live from Pocatello. And Pocatello's 45 minutes, give or take, from Idaho Falls, where I'm from. And so they start out, and this is 1970s. So Pocatello is very small at that point in time. And it is a very, Idaho in general is a very religious place. Being as close to Utah as we are, everybody here is very religious. Not everyone, but mostly. So back then, it wasn't any different. I mean, that's how we were founded, from what they say. Anywho, so you got this family, and you got, I think it's like 3 daughters, a mom, and a dad. Okay? Well, they go to church on Sunday, and they discover there's a new family in town. And so they meet the family, they become the bestest of friends. The new family sends the main family a fruit basket. And when they get the fruit basket, the main family, that's what we're going to call the main family, the dad was smitten. He was like, oh, gee whiz, that is a very nice gesture. Because the card said, even though I just met you, don't find me creepy. I adore your family. It didn't have the creepy part. And here's fruit from me to you. And they become the bestest of friends. Well, and in this family, the main family, the other family has children the same age as the main family, daughters as well. So we're best friends. And the main family has one daughter in particular. And there's nothing out of the ordinary about this little girl. She is a normal, precious little baby girl. But B, that's the other family's dad, has fallen in love with the main family's daughter. Not in love, obsessed love. And she's a freaking baby. She's like 8 years old. Very little. Very, very little. Well, he would do things with all of the children. He would take them to school. And they had a cute little fun chant that they would chant on the way to school as B dropped off all of the children's. And all of the children were even like, yep, he did like her a little bit more than everybody else. But it was cool because he played tag and read stories and he was the fun guy, this B. So everybody loved B. And then B calls the main family's mom one day. And he's like, hey, I want to take your kid to go ride some horsies in American Falls. Not too far away. And the mom's like, no, it's a school night. Can't. Sorry. And he goes, oh, no. Well, she has like piano or something. And the mom's like, oh, no, we got piano. And he's like, well, I could pick her up from piano and then take her to ride the horsies. And then the mom's like, you better be back by the time main dad gets home. And so he's like, okay. And when they get in the car, he's like, before we go to the horses, take your allergy medication so you ain't sniffly. So she does. I call it taking bennies. You take a little Benny drill and you take a little nap. Anyway, so she takes her bennies and she takes her nap. She wakes up, she's in American Falls, whatever. So, turns out, he didn't want to take her to ride horses. He abducts her. And she's like 12. I don't know. She's little. I don't even know. She's still young. I don't know if she's exactly 12 the first time he kidnaps her. But he takes her and they go and are hidden for a couple of months. But the whole time, B is talking to main mom, right? And still in cahoot, like they're still talking, they're still friends. We're still friends. Even though you've taken my child without my permission and I don't know where you are or when you're coming back with her, we're still friends. And you're like, as a person watching this show, you're like, what the fuck? Why are you not like, oh my God, you took my baby? Well, come to find out, B groomed the whole family, not just baby little girl. So when he was hungry or got a hankering for a sandwich, would call up main mom. Even though he's married, he'd call up main mom and be like, hey, main mom, bring me a sandwich. Or something nice like that. And then she was like, okay. And then she did. And then there was one day, too many jokes, too many ha-has and gazing and whatnot have you, that it led to some pecking and some necking and then some fucking. And So mom and B, main mom and B, are dicking down on the side. So you're like, yep, that's why main mom is like, oh, I'm not that upset. I mean, he's not going to hurt her. He'll bring her back. He loves her. He loves me. Wink, wink. And she said after the first time, I mean, it was all she could ever think about. Because he said and did things that main dad didn't do. But I know you're thinking, well, maybe it's because main dad is like vanilla Lila in the bedroom. And I beg to freaking differ. I don't know personally, but I beg to differ. And then you're like, you know what? Why isn't dad super upset that his precious little baby angel is gone with B and no one knows the location? Turns out he jerks off B. Turns out B goes to main dad one day and says, hey, I do not like my wife or her vagina. I am sexually frustrated. Me and you as a friend shall go on a drive. Main dad is like, I go on drives with my horny friends all the time. And so they go on a drive. And then B parks and he goes, check it. I'm gonna need some relief. And for some reason, I cannot do it myself. My wrists don't make the motion. To be honest, I don't know why he can't touch his own wiener. I don't know. But dad, without even hesitating, chuckles and he's like, whip your dick out, and jerks him off. More than once and more than one occasion. And then does some sexual deviant behaviors later on. Dad's quoting, not mine, gay love, whatever. Anywho, so you come to find out that's why the parents are so silly. Everybody knows my definition of silly when it comes to this whole thing. So the mom and the dad the first time are like, check it out. It's been 4 or 5 days. And if you guys ain't back on fucking Sunday, I'm calling the police. Well, she calls the police, the FBI in Pocatello on Sunday. Told you, Idaho's very religious. They say, this is God's day. We'll be back in the office on Monday. Leave a message at the beep. This is a real emergency. Call this other number. Main mom hearing this is like, you know what? It is the Lord's day. We'll wait. We must bother no one of our missing child. We don't know where. Because other mom has come over and like, well, he'll be back. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. So they get in Mexico this whole time, little girl and B, and they get married in the Mexico because you only need to be 12 to do that there. And so they go and they get hitched. And B's talking to his brother. And his brother is like, I know that my brother is fucked off in the head and likes little babies. And we've known this forever because he's fondled our stepsister, whatever. B has a history. And so he says, brother, call main mom and tell her if she lets me come back and marry the kid or whatever, we'll do so. And then the brother feels bad and then watches the mom cry. All these shenanigans happen. And we get the kid back. Okay? But while she was gone, some things happened to this child. Obviously, caca mean things. But another thing happened to her. She would wake up and find a little box next to her bed. And she would be restrained. And the little box would flicker on. And 2 aliens, Jimmy and Dimmy, I'm never going to remember those names, but whatever. Those 2 tell her things. They say, hey, check it. You are not a human. All the way. You're half alien. And we're going to need you to pop out a baby by the time you're 16. We already know the guy, the fella. We know him. You're going to find him when you wake up. He's going to be there. And if you don't, we're going to take your sister because she's half alien. She's going to have our babies. And she's going to go fucking blind. Hopefully she can read Braille. So, like, she gets told all this crazy shit. And then, of course, she dozes off. Comes back to. The restraints are gone. The little alien box is gone. And B's sitting there. And so this little girl is like, my love, my life, my light. And it all starts, bro. So then the feds come. They get her, take her back, make her go back to Idaho. And she's mad as hell. She tells the family, she's like, what about B? And they're like, girl, we don't care. And so she's obsessed. She is smuggling letters. He is smuggling letters. He is finding kids on the playground to be like, hey, go tell her to wander off by herself to a payphone for me to call her. And so she does. And all this crazy stuff. And just nonsense. And then she goes missing again. And then they get her back. And then she does it the last time. The finale. Okay? He helps her. Skadoodle. And the whole time, he keeps calling her mom. And he's like, have you talked to her? Do you know where she is? Because he's acting like, I don't know where she is either. It is a mystery. Because he has moved to Montana. So he's like, I'm not even in the same state as y'all. Your baby's missing. And he did warn the mom. He did. He called the mom and he says, hey, she's gonna run. First time, mom puts her on a plane and sends her. Second time, she's not willing. First time though, mom does it. And I'm leaving out a lot of the shit the parents do because I think that they've learned for themselves the mistakes that they have made. And you can watch this show and you can determine for yourself that they are aware that they failed in more than one way. And they let some shit go for some dick. And I don't know if Mr. B was hung or what it was, but that dick was the magic stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it fucking worked. The whole family was bamboozled. Until the very end, the mom is on the fucking phone with this dude. And she's like, you still want to marry her? And he's like, more than ever. And at the same time, they're still fucking. She fucked him for 8 months. Dicked him down. And still taking his phone. What? What do you mean you haven't talked to her? Like, oh my Lord. The shit. And then the kid gets on the phone and she's like, well, I love him. I'm gonna marry him. Whether you like it or not. All this crazy stuff. And then, like, when they find out where she is, come to find out, when he helps her leave the home, they drive to California. He puts her in an all-girls school and is like, hey, I'm from the fucking FBI or CIA or something with 3 letters. And we're in distress. And I gotta hide this kid. And if anybody comes here asking about this kid, you don't know this kid. And he puts her in the all-girls school. He's still going. He's still going down there. She's still being visited by the 2 fucking aliens. They're dicking down. And when she was little, he never fully penetrated her. That's how. In a roundabout way. Like, when she got home and they were, like, taking her to the doctor and they're like, did he fondle her? They were like, well, no, her hymen, in vulgar words, your cherry, was not popped. It was still present. And so they're like, no. And she's like, but he did. So when they get caught and everything else, she's been in the all-girls school. He has known it has been a ruse this entire time. He has known where she is. They have been in cahoots. And he goes to jail, obviously. Not enough. And, like, so the mom and daughter obviously have written books in the show and told their story. And their story is very powerful. I mean, the way someone can manipulate is very shocking sometimes. Because they didn't just manipulate one person from this family, it was the whole family. So that was very new and interesting to me. It was so weird. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm really not. Like, I so am not. And especially because, like, this stuff happened in my home. Like, my sister is a survivor of this type of stuff. So I am very heartfelt when it comes to this stuff. I really am. And I know it doesn't sound like it, but I am. But this show just, like, you know, the little emoji of, like, mind blown, poof, and, like, there's, like, sparks and the puff of smoke. That's what I did for an hour, for almost 2 hours, because it's almost 2 hours long. That's what I did. The whole time. The whole time. You have the FBI being like, don't you fucking talk to these people. And the mom's like, well, it's rude not to answer the phone. Like, just like, dude, I feel so bad because, like, I'm judging them because I feel I can't understand. And the 70s, yes, are different. And so I will put that into there. But how do you find out? Oh, and main dad is the one who was like, I'm leaving main mom. Because she's stuck on his dick. I'm done with it. And oh my God, they lied at one point in time. During the whole process, they signed affidavits being like, we think maybe he misunderstood and he could have, because then B came out and was like, y'all weren't that good in bed. I'm going to tell y'all a story. If you guys don't say that I had the permission to take your sweet little angel. So there's a whole bunch of crazy shit happens, like left, right. And then the movie ends and you're sitting there like, what the fuck? That's all. And then there's credits. And like, okay, cool. The dad cries. The mom cries. The daughters cry. They all came together. I mean, thank God they never stopped loving each other and still had their family. That's a bonus. And she was like, some of this stuff I had to forgive my parents for. And like, I just can't even imagine. Like, and I know the shit talk that goes on nowadays. Could you imagine this happening nowadays? The whole thing was just insane. It's so messed up, and it shows how messed up an individual can be, because he does, fool the whole family and pretty much has his way and does whatever he wants. But it's just like, wow. And to know that, like, when they came out with their movies and their books, and not the movie yet, but like the book and everything else, this B dude was at these places in Pocatello and stuff and being like, nope. They let me have their daughter for sexual favors. That's why I was fucking both of them. Like, oh my God. And then they go to court and the judge is like, are you guys serious right now? Your story is like, whoa. But like, oh my God. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine this guy thinks, oh, I got it over. Like, I pulled the fast one. I pulled a quickie. And meanwhile, this family is like, oh, we're going to write a book. And you think you shamed us? Sir, you did not. We're going to air our own dirty business. Thank you. And then he's showing up to places being like, you guys read it, right? So you guys know that they let me have that kid for jerks and Turks. Like, it's just insane. Insane. he killed himself because he got sentenced to life for the kidnapping. I mean, and he violated all the other girls too. The family said about 6 people had reached out and been like, hey, the same guy did this to us. He did this to me. There was another family in Pocatello, but those parents were like, no, keep your fucking fruit basket. And just like, I don't even know. Dude died. He was found guilty, and then they were like, hey, you need to go home and then come back for sentencing and we'll sentence you. And so he went home, took all of his heart medication, had some milk and some Kahlua, and fucking took a nap. So there we go. He's gone. But yeah, she had a restraining order for life. Like, that's hard to get. Just all these crazy things. And to think it happened to one family. Like, Jesus Christ. Not one family can be like, my mom had an affair with the same dude my dad did. You know what I mean? Wow. Just a crazy show. Like, crazy. And I've kept so much back because, there is so much more I would want to say. But I am not trying to get canceled today. I'm not. So, God bless this family. I'm glad they have found the salvation and the help that they have needed. Because they deserve all good things to that family. So if you have not watched it and you put it off since 2017 like I have, because that's when it came on to Netflix, go ahead. Go over to Netflix. Watch it. And then you can sit there like the cute little emoji with your top of your head blown off. And wow. So it was just crazy. Sarah, I think you're out to get me. You might be out to get me. So yeah, there's the review on that. And I'm just still, boo. But hey, it's Friday and everybody knows, which means it's Friday morning, which means you get a new episode of me. And then tonight, you get a new episode, well, a teaser of Jeff and Greg on Facebook. If you get on Facebook, they go Facebook Live about 8:30. And then they jostle and joke and whatnot have ya. And then they do their show, and then their show comes out either the next day or usually by Sunday, because then I get cranky and I message them mean things. And so they usually put it out so that my Sunday's not shitty, and they don't do it for me. I'm just very conceited. Anywho, and another thing locally that's going on, because I told him I would, and because his cousin is my best friend, she is the love of my life. Anyway, there is an Afro Man concert, which according to someone I know, not that good of a guy, not that great, only 2 songs. Which is true, but they are 2 good songs. Afro Man is coming to Idaho Falls October 1st. And if you don't want to go see Afro Man, which, come on. Because I got high. Maybe it's because I'm a person that I love him so much. Anyway, if you don't want to go see him and his 2 songs, you should still go and support your local artist, Ebes. And I love Ebes. I love it. He is selling tickets, and all of the artists are, but I am mainly pushing him right now because I told him I would. He takes Venmo, and he'll meet up with you and do all that kind of fun jazz. So if you want a ticket, they're $40 right now and $50 at the door. So that's $10 worth of drinks you'd be saving. And once again, I'm going. Like, that's enough right there. Because I'm going. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going. And Jean will be there. Oh my God. And Jean will be there. How great is that? Bam. That'll be fun too. So it'll be oodles and caboodles of fun. So get a hold of Ebes on Facebook. Just type that into the search bar. EBS. Ebes. Message him. And then he'll meet up with you and give you your ticket and all that jazz. While you're at it, get a Rocky Mountain High shirt too. And you can still get a Jeff and Greg shirt. believe so. Their last live, they said that they still had them. Once again, the most comfortable shirt. I'm going to make these fuckers pay me. You know what I mean? We're going to have to do something. Sexual favors, jokes. We'll have to work some sort of bargaining out. I hustle these guys' shows so much. We'll have to do something. But anyway, get a shirt from them because it's amazing. I recently have just gotten a hoodie and some stuff from Touch, who is in Nevada but will ship, pay your shipping. He'll send it to you. So get your hoodies, your shirts. Support your local artists, people. Come on now. They're amazing. They are all absolutely amazing, and I am blessed to know every one of them. So, on that note, you guys have a kick-ass weekend. It's cold and rainy and gross. So, when you meet up with these guys, make sure to bundle up because it's cold. So, all right, you guys have a great weekend, and peace the fuck out.